So instead of a skip for this video, I kind of wanted to show why cats kind of suck sometimes. Because, so what happens is usually, you guys will see my review stuff, but there's my basement over there. This usually hangs out in my basement. Because it's gigantic and I don't have room in my office to keep this thing sitting on here and then doing reviews on the table here. Can't see here. So, where I sat it, I thought I had it high enough to keep it out of the reach of the cat, but I guess I was wrong. Because he decided to knock the thing over. So, gotta go back through, fix a couple of things. For instance, one of my logos, which I think was the Treadmaster logo, was there. It kind of got ripped off. Some of the signs got knocked over. There was the Figma one, I think, in the back. That one's actually just missing. Most of the buildings were tipped over. I had to re-glue them all down. Thankfully, a lot of the foliage stayed, though some of my smoke kind of got messed up. And a couple of the buildings, especially like that guy in the back, I kind of got to go back through and touch up. And I don't know how. Oh, I guess that one's the Figma. What the heck? Oh, the xplus one. Also, there's like some rocks on top and in spots that I don't want it anymore. So I'm probably going to sit here and retouch this guy up next time I get a day off. Oh, my Hasbro one's missing too. Again, cats suck sometimes. But anyways, on to the video. Listen up, Rangers! Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today we finally acquired one of my Holy Grail figures. Well, sort of. So what this is this is the original xplus Legion, the EX version. Not sure of the specifics for the name, but this was like back when xplus flying was still relatively new, and they made same kind of vinyls that they make nowadays, but they were on a much smaller scale. For instance, I have like the 99 Gamera that's in this scale. But they made a lot more of the cooler kaijus in this, like especially with the Gamera. Like you could get literally all the monsters in this line, while the newer ones, like the large monster series of 30 centimeters Gigantics, can't really get half these guys. For instance, you could get the Legion Soldier in this line. There's also like the baby version of Iris. There's the Gausses. And then like pretty much all the versions of Gamera you can acquire too. And of course the Mother Legion. And the reason why I got this was initially I was thinking about making this articulated, like chopping this apart and making it work with the MonsterArts. But this is probably the best you're going to get in terms of just available Legion figures to go along with that until they hopefully make a Legion at some point. Then I'd always kind of had a soft spot for this line in particular, and always been kind of eyeballing just to get anyways. But we're going to go over and see if it's worth me chopping up, or if I'm just going to leave it the way it is and just have it kind of posing next to the MonsterArts Gamera. But anyways, without further ado, for its packaging, as you guys can see, we did a live stream unboxing, so she's just been kind of chilling on the top. One of the reasons why it was a little cheaper than sometimes you'd see it is the box is kind of beat the hell, but still good enough. Like, it was still sealed fine inside of it. But you have the Kaiju's name on the front with a kind of looks like fire going on with the packaging. You get some more streaks and stuff on the background side. You get the cool little Gamera logo, xplus Greatest Japanese Giants Collection. Get the movie title upside down on the top. Back of the package shows you, like, again, all what was available. So you get like 99 Gauss. I don't think I've seen a 95. I know, like, I'm assuming they made one, but I haven't really seen one of those for sale. That'd actually be kind of cool to get a hold of. But I've seen plenty of like the Legion Soldiers, which is another one I kind of want to get. Same with the Iris. Also, there was some assembly, which I already put the thing together. Nothing on the bottom, but there is some Lego Mumbo Jumbo sprung out here and there. Oh man, this was originally 50 bucks. I didn't pay 50 bucks. That would have been awesome. But anyway, since we got her opened up out of her cardboard prison, let's get into her. Alright, so now that we got Legion opened up out of her cardboard prison, first and foremost, there was some assembly required. So you will have to attach the waist together, and then you gotta put the little crab pincer things into her as well. Best thing you can do for this particular figure is you want to heat up right around the body here with a hairdryer or hot water, and then you'll cram the crab claw into there. which the claws were a little bit easier to get on than the waist. The waist was a pain in the butt because you have to heat up the top section here, if I remember right, and then I literally was just cramming it and rotating, trying to get it to pop into the grooves. And it took a minute or two, but ended up getting it in there. But once you get it together, the seam line is very, like, it's not as noticeable. I will say there is a bit of a color difference, which kind of bothers me a bit. It's definitely a lot lighter here than it is for the rest of the body. Nothing major, but it is a thing that's worth pointing out, because if you look here, the crab pincers where they connect, the coloring's not as drastic. I guess that's kind of lighter too, isn't it? Well, you can definitely tell they probably weren't painted together. That's for sure. But what's cool about that, though, it having so many parts that have to be attached, is unlike most xpluses, she's actually kind of posable. Because we'll start with the articulation, which is a little odd, but she can rotate, which is cool. Her head actually rotates too, so you can get it kind of going side to side. The little pincers here also rotate. Nothing too crazy, but you do get a little bit of play with them. And then also the hind leg here also can lift up and down. So if you want her kind of like looking like she's about to dig, you can do that. Or if you could just have it laying back, or if you want it kind of look like she's getting ready to move. So there's actually quite a bit of play. It's almost reminiscent to like the Bandai vinyl. And I don't even think the Bandai vinyl could rotate. Do I have the Bandai vinyl down here? I think I took it upstairs. I sure did. Gonna have to go hunt that thing down in a second for the comparison videos. So for a closer look at her details, she's gorgeous. If you ever seen xpluses, like, xpluses look great. This is just a smaller version of the xpluses, which means for the most part, she looks really good. I can't really say I've had too many xpluses that I've ever picked up that you open it out of the package and you're just kind of disappointed. That rarely ever happens, which is kind of the nice thing because they are expensive to begin with, so definitely don't want to be disappointed. And then if you guys are going to want to try to acquire her, this one in particular was $130 with free shipping, but that's kind of on the low end, if I had to say. You can sometimes find her importing-wise for around that price, but then because of the size of the package, you're probably going to pay an arm and a leg in shipping. So I would say you're probably looking more in like the $150 up range if you're going to want to try to acquire her. But the head sculpt does look really good, though. Got her nice little metallic blue eyes with the little mandible on the side here. What's cool too is you actually get like her mouth there too for the detailing, and then her giant crest here on the front. And the one nice thing is, because it's a vinyl, usually like this part has to be connected for it to work with the mold, but it doesn't stand out. Like, there's not really anything here that looks like access vinyl, which you sometimes get on like smaller Bandai vinyls, which can be annoying, especially with the mouth section here. But for this one, there's nothing here that really stands out. Like, maybe right there should have had some more detailing, because she would have had that little glowing bit that was hiding on the undersection for when she does her beam. So that would have been kind of cool. But outside of that, not really too much else to complain. Like, just basic sitting, like, stationary Legion. I think it looks really good. Even got the little pointed crest here. Neck is a little bit more elongated than what you see on some of the other variations, because I know the Bandai vinyl, there's like nothing here for the neck region. But then you get her giant spike on the top with her 10 little arms coming down the side of her head, which look really good. That was the part where if I was going to be articulated, this is the easy section, because you, for the most part, just remove each of the connecting bits. You keep the armor bits, and then you just swap those out for joints. Super simple. The hardest part is just cramming epoxy putty in there and making joint holes. But anyways, everything else looks really good too. She's got some texturing on the armor plating. I will say maybe the little egg sac things here on her chest maybe could have been a little bit better painted, because it kind of, the red definitely gets a little bit of excess in certain spots. But nothing too bad, though. Like, for the most part, it's sitting there. Still looks really good, but just kind of up close. maybe could have been a little cleaner. Be honest, maybe a little bit darker with the coloring. Because for the most part, she's just grays with more darker grays and some browns here and there. So there isn't like a crap ton of color variety for the most part. Like, it's mainly the eyes here, which definitely stand out. And the red on the chest. Most of the rest of it's just varying shades of gray to blacks to browns. But for the rest of the kaiju, you get the giant little crab pincers on the side, which are enclosed, which makes sense. This part actually probably would have been fairly easy to articulate too. It would be heavy trying to articulate this because you'd have to put the epoxy putty here and then hook the joint in, plus sculpting a bit. So that would definitely wear down quite a bit. Main reason I'm talking about a lot of the articulation too is because this was actually payment for me to do a posable one of these, but we're doing it with a Bandai vinyl. So kind of these sections I'm talking about with the articulation is going to be what I'm going to be doing on that. That will begin the video though. I'll show the progress on how I go about that one. But for her groin region, maybe not. I'm not sure 100% how this works. But she's got her little feet where the suit actor would have been. I think there was 2 suit actors inside of her. Is how she was operated. But I know the prime legs go into here, which still look really good. Get some skin texturing with some more of the armor platings. You get 2 of the little pointed sections coming down to the front. Looks really good. Same with the skin on the insides of the legs. Look nice. So you get the little armor section. Not really any detailing on the bottom, but doesn't really need it. But you do get the little legs. I think these were like fluff on the figure, or on the actual suit, I mean. On the under section here. And looking at the top, you get more of the armor plated with the giant grasshopper legs on the back, which have the extra little detail bits on the top section here, which is fairly accurate. I kind of wish maybe that was the other way around. Because to me, I almost would think that you'd have the pointed bit contact instead of the blade, because that kind of looks more like it's dragging, and a bit of a contrast to that. But then again, I imagine that's how the suit was. It's just something that looks kind of odd in terms of just like design-wise. And then you get that little booty action here on the back. So overall detail really nice, and also just a pleasant surprise how articulated it is for it being essentially just a statue that was from what I've thought. So for some quick comparisons, here we have what I think is the most important comparison for this video, which we're going to start off with. Her next to some MonsterArts Gameras with the 1995 and 96. More importantly, 96. He's just kind of here because he was still in the basement currently. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to take that off the table because for the most part, I kind of want to see how they kind of... Oh, that's pretty darn close. I would think it would be nice if she was maybe like right around here. I think it would be perfect. But that's still, I think pretty serviceable. Because for the most part, she's going to have that nice size over top of it. Because the Bandai vinyl is only slightly bigger than this guy. Like maybe around here. She definitely has the heft to go along with this guy. So thankfully, the primary purpose of buying this figure, not disappointed. And here she is with some other Gamera collectibles with the 95 Bandai vinyl from the movie Monster series and the Treadmaster version. Here she is next to some other random figures with the Californication Reborn T-Rex and the SH MonsterArts Monster Hunter Zinogre. And here she is with some random kaijus in my collection with the Playmates 1956 Rodan and the YMSF Gamera. Here she is with some other legions in my collection with the Bandai vinyl and my broken Revolt tech that I customized to look like the battle damage towards the end of the movie with the little laser beams coming out of her face. One thing I want to mention here though is that I do think that her things are on wrong, because this one, the spiky bits are aiming down. This one, the little legs are aiming down. Hers are backwards. Now I gotta watch the movie. Well, shoot. Huh. It would appear that they are backwards. Gonna have to fix that, I guess. Oh! It rotates! Yay! I was concerned, because I was like, does it seem like, it kind of looks like it might be, but oh, that's just really stiff. Alright, cool. We're good. that looks more normal. So for the original xplus Legion, this thing's fantastic, especially if you have the original SH MonsterArts Gamera. This is a nice companion piece to go along with that, at least until they decide to give us the MonsterArts version. Because outside of the Bandai vinyl, which is small, this is probably the most in-scaled Legion figure we've gotten to go along with those, and primarily the reason I bought it, and super pleased with it. And again, what's surprising too is even with the minimal articulation that you get out of it, still gives you a little bit of play to go along with it. After thinking about it, I'm not going to be making this thing articulated personally. I think the way it sits right now works fine for me. It kind of hurt me to kind of chop this thing up because of just how gorgeous this thing just sits. I think in terms of like vinyls, especially smaller vinyls, this is easily one of my more favorite ones. And super pleased that I got it. If you guys could pick it up for, I'd say, $150 or less, definitely hop on it. Especially if you guys like Gamera, have the MonsterArts to go along with it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. What do you guys think? Do you guys own this figure? What's your favorite Legion collectible? Or is Jiger? Is that how you say her name? Warrior thing? Please listen in the comments below. We also have an Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys like you on the Day One channel donate. We really appreciate it. And also it's an Etsy shop with some accessories. And hopefully trying to get a Gamera Fire Blast thing on there in the near future. Hopefully anyways. And help us defeat those Kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.